Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and we're doing something I said I wasn't going to do, which is a live play video today. The reason for that is my volume hasn't been great this week, and I haven't really been saving hands, and that is because, well, my volume hasn't been great because I'm finding myself more non-poker work to do because that is good for my mental health. So I've been doing more hours on my respite care. Kind of, I don't get paid for the extra hours I'm doing, but I don't really care. It makes me feel more valuable. Doing a little bit more voluntary work for Age UK, so it's eating into the times I can play. But I'm still hoping to be able to get minimum 4,000 hands per week, and hopefully be in a better mental state in which to grind them, because I won't feel like I'm not really contributing to society. So yeah, this is a live play video. Please do hit the like button. Please do comment below it. Please do subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If you are subscribed, please do hit the bell. These videos aren't doing particularly well for views on YouTube. I get that. I understand it. It's not everyone's cup of tea. But I think I've managed to persuade maybe 5 No Limit Hold'em players to come across to this game since I started this adventure, and not one of them has gone back to No Limit Hold'em yet. They all seem to be in love with the game. So I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna the drum. I'm gonna keep fucking banging, because most of you who eventually say, "Oh fuck it, let's just see what he's talking about." When you do that, will thank me, because it's a fun game, and it's not that difficult to get semi-competent at. So I'm going to try and talk through spots in a little more detail than I usually do on a live play video today. I'm going to try and pay a bit more attention to what's going on. Sadly, 2 of our tables are now, well, this one's 3-handed now. We may have to pause the video whilst we wait for a table to fill up, or find a different table, because trying to keep up with 2 short-handed tables and make reasonable commentary is perhaps something that's beyond me right now. Over here we limp the pocket tens under the gun. That's a completely standard play. It gets more interesting if somebody raises before the flop. But they don't, and we flop not that spectacularly. We're playing some heads up now, but we're not leaving, because this guy is somebody you're not disappointed to play heads up against. I don't expect the table to stay empty for too long. It's 10 to 3 in the afternoon, which is around 10 p.m. local time where the videos are made, maybe 11 p.m. I'm not sure. What time is it in the Philippines right now? Google will tell me. Time in the Philippines. 10 to 11 at night. So we're getting close to, well, maybe we're not getting close to prime time. We're into the prime time now. I'd say anything from 1 p.m. UK to 6 p.m. UK is the absolute peak time for these games to play. But then the games do go 24/7, which is delightful. We flop the worst straight possible here, but there are plenty of hands that can continue versus a bet. Anything with a queen in it isn't folding. 2 pairs aren't folding. Sets probably would have led the flop, so I don't think there's going to be many sets out there. We're probably just going to take it down with this bet, but we're happy to do so if we do, given our hand needs a lot of protection. Another bet on the turn. Probably going to bet fold, I think, with the shitty end of the straight and the board pairing now. And now we're just going to check back if our opponent leads with giving up. It's a pretty damn shitty run out for our hand. All sorts of king X you can have. Going to check back. And he backed into a full house. So go him. I think you should probably bet that river. Of all my hands that want to be potting that flop and betting the turn, there's not going to be many full houses in them. I mean, the straight was there on the flop. On the turn, the board paired. They just, yeah. It's going to be hard for me to have full houses there. Over on this table, we have tried to isolate this guy with the ace-10 suited. Sadly, our isolation attempt completely failed, and all we have now is some backdoor stuff to go on. This is not a spot where I'm going to be c-betting very light in these games. Combined fold to c-bet of two players is probably less than 30%. And we do not have anywhere near enough equity to fall back on. So we're just done with it. And we were dead in two spots. This is a thing I'm currently experimenting with in my game, and I'm not sure if ace-10 suited should just be an over limp there. Because I think when we do make the ISO raise, people will still call with worse, but like the ace-queen, for example, here, there's going to be a lot better hands that just call like ace-jacks, as we saw there, ace-queen. So I'm not sure if ace-10 should probably just be an over limp. I am trying to isolate a little bit more from the cutoff and the button versus limps, rather than just like over limping almost everything. But I'm not sure it's a really good strategy. I think maybe just over limping most things and maybe just shoving some things is better than the isolate to 70 chips or to 14 antes or whatever. I think. Because it just doesn't work. You know, you don't achieve isolation. You don't achieve very much, if any, fold equity pre-flop with that size. You don't necessarily induce too many folds behind from people that want to play their pretty parts of their range. So all you're doing really is bloating a pot where, and with a hand like ace-10 suited, you're never going to have like a dominant amount of equity. Or rarely going to have, so rarely. And quite often you're going to be dominated like we were. Dominated. So I need to give that some thought. I'm not far from convinced by that. I think like maybe just over limping stuff like that, and then just having like a shove or limp in late position with our like limp some very good hands and shove premiums might be. I mean, it seems like it's a very basic, like hammer and fucking chisel strategy, but so far I've found that basic hammer and chisel strategies are incredibly effective in these games, and maybe I'm just being a little trying to like overthinking it a little bit. I think that's entirely possible. With the Jack 9 here, we're going to be looking to make a bet. It checks to us. We're going to be looking to raise if someone bets into us. We might already be up against the made straight, but we have plenty of equity against that. With the 5 Jack King suited here on the button, I think we're going to go for a peel. And here we're just going to go with the big raise. Could even shove, actually. Put maximum pressure on like 6-8 or 10-6, stuff like that. With the Jack King, we've bricked the flop and every man and his dogs come along, which is backs up what I was saying earlier about you go for these like 14 chip or 10 chip isolation raises and it just doesn't work. The bet takes it down over here with the Jack 9, which we almost certainly, well, guarantee you we didn't have the best hand, but we won the pot, which is nice. As you see, hopefully there'll be multiple limpers and we get to just ram it in, jam it in and see how lightly we might get called. Keep limping, boys. Keep limping. That's it. Keep limping. Now, we could go 82 here, or we could go all in. I'm actually going to go 92 and just get it in on any flop, basically. I'm not sure I like this better than an all-in. We'll see. I mean, this is a guy who has like no limit hold'em stats. Not sure he's going to be a real 6+ superstar. He's got the red tag for now because he's tight and he's aggressive, but I don't think these are anywhere close to optimal 6+ stats. I think they're a long, long way off optimal. Now we just jam because what else is it to do? And we hope someone hasn't outflopped us, basically. I don't think anyone's got a better hand than aces right now. I think most hands would have bet the flop, 8-7 sets, etc. Maybe there's like a 10-9 in there that wouldn't bet the flop once in a while. So I'm not sure if that is that there. If the raise to 82 is better than just ripping versus all Olympus. And that's something I've got to talk to people about and just play with myself. I think if there's more of these types that are limped in, the pink type players, I think ripping gets better because they're the ones that are just very likely to call with like King Jack offsuit and King Queen offsuit, stuff like that. I think when there's more like blue tags who aren't quite as loose and maybe not good players but slightly more disciplined, maybe then you're better to go with the raise where you're just like, right, if it checks me on the flop, we're just going to go with it type thing. I think there's many ways to approach that spot, and I think lots of them will depend on who's at the table. I think it would just say, right, we're always jamming or we're always doing this. I don't think you're just giving yourself an excuse to knock off mentally and not do what you think might be the best thing in a vacuum at that particular table. Here with our backdoors and our top pair, I mean, I think our top pair is virtually worthless here when it goes bet call. But with our backdoor straight, backdoor flush draws, we want to see a turn. We get one of the best turns we can see in terms of the colour, but it's an overcard. He's just bet the full pot. We have 0 fold equity. We're not getting the correct odds to draw, so we're going to fold. Limping the 10s. Now here, this is interesting. We've got 2 limpers. We have the ace queen. Another spot where do we just do this? Do we just limp? All in's too much. This guy raises 15%, so we're going to try and trap him. Hopefully he goes for an ISO raise. 15% is quite a high PFR in this game. And then we get to just back raise jam. That's the plan here. Doesn't look like it's going to come off. Looks like he's going to just run his time back down and check back, which is unfortunate. Because I would very much like to have limp shoved on him. And we have this dude who's just bet 10% pot. I think we're going to be raise folding here. With our top pair. We're going to just treat these two as checks. Just bet the size of the pot. Calls here. We're just ripping the queens. Maybe we would just have ripped them anyway. I'm not a massive fan of getting queens in pre-flop in this game. When you get called, you're not always in tremendous shape, but I think it's obviously fine. We're going to need to dodge some diamonds and other stuff here. We do dodge everything though. We're going to call with the 8-10 suited on the middle table. And we are going to flop a pair and a backdoor flush draw. Not enough to continue with, really. We're hoping this checks through, but we're not expecting it to. Almost got it to check through, and then it didn't. There's no c-betting of this flop, I don't think. Maybe there's some check calling against smallish bets, but probably just check folding huge amount of the time. This is half pot. I'm going to call one. We now have a full house, and it makes it much less likely he has a queen. And how often is he betting a jack on the flop? I don't know. He checks back. Ace on the river's not too spectacular. I don't see many ways we win this pot. Even if we check and he bets, so what bluffs can he have? 10-9 maybe, but we block 10-9. We just win by him giving up, which is nice to see. I tend not to believe half pot bets in this game very often because I think I've seen enough hands where when players are strong, they just like bet huge to protect, as they should. For the record, I mean it's something I do. I just bet big with strong hands. I don't fuck around, so I'm not criticising that. But given most of the population, when they are at the top of their range, are betting large sizes, I think when I see smaller sizes, and I see some fucking crazy small sizes from some players, I tend to either think they are cheap bluff attempts or like pretty crap like block bet attempts. There's some really bad players who like have pretty tight pre-flop stats. There's one guy called Glenn, I think, and he just routinely bets like fucking 14 chips into 400 or 14 chips into 200 or 9 chips into 200. Yeah. And he's played a lot of hands and he has some very strange post-flop tendencies. But usually I just associate small bets with weakness, and if I find someone who is small betting when they are nutted, then that is unusual, and I will try and make at least a mental note of that because the notes aren't great on this app. It's hard to take good notes. Second pair. That's just a little bit too much to call. Right, what's this dude saying to me? It's Reggie, haha. Gallingham more packer bang. Right, we're Googling this. Google translate to English. So what have we got? Gallingen. Oops. Gallingen more pag bang. You are good at renting. Okay. Apparently, lucky you thinks I'm good at renting. Pretty sure that probably confusion in the actual translation there. Or maybe renting means something different in Filipino. Who knows? But yeah. Apparently I am good at renting, so go me. I do live in rented accommodation and I always pay the rent on time, so he's right. I mean, factually, the man is correct. He is very correct. I am good at renting. Guess we call here on the button with the ace-8 suited. This checks to me here. I think we'll probably take a stab with our backdoor stuff. This is like, could not have been a worse flop for our pre-flop holding. So we're stabbing here, and then we're going to continue on blue turns on an 8. Probably check back on a king and a 9. Maybe we stab an ace too, because it gives us a good shot and perhaps some fold equity. We don't bet on a jack. That's one card we do not bet on. Pretty much done with it when a jack comes. This makes me want to bet. his line is just to be sat there with the 7 and we allow him to show it down. But does he check jacks? Does he just not bet a jack on the river? This is the question. Does he have a 7 or does he have a jack? We're going for it. We're going to try and make him fold a 7 here. That may be touch excessive with the sizing. But in this game, if you're going to bluff, you fucking bluff hard or you don't bluff at all. We bet like 3/4 pot there. I think lots of hands we don't want to snap us off, just fucking snap us off. That could have been excessive though. Could have got a bit excited there. Wimpy Wimpy Woo with the Queen 10. We won't be calling versus that. This red is usually complementary on my no limit hold'em and pot limit Omaha tag system. It's not necessarily complementary here because, like I say, I think this dude here is just trying to bring a no limit hold'em strategy to. It's 3 betting 11%, absurd. His VPIP and PFR is 33.21. Yeah, I do not think he's even close to applying the correct strategy. Here we have a SPR for our purposes of exactly 2. Lots of draws out there, but no made straights yet, etc. So we're just going to go all in. Try and fold out people's equity shares. Obviously, I'm not expecting any better hands whatsoever to fold. This isn't a bluff. This is just trying to deny equity to stuff like 10-9, to club draws, King 10, things like that. We lose to the better 2 pair. Oops, wrong button. Top up, Rich. Top up, top up, top up. So we got felted over here, whilst at the same time felting someone on the middle table. For a small net profit, I think. I'm still far from convinced by the non-all-in raise size in this game. I didn't like it at first. When I saw people either like limp or shoving, I was like, what the fuck kind of strategy is that? But I actually think it has plenty of merit now. There's plenty of reasons to want to do it. But maybe not as wide as Ace Queen. Maybe Ace Queen's just a pure limp there. Interesting calling it off with Ace Jack there. I mean, yeah, he was in a decent situation against my hand, but against my range, he's in very rough shape. We are down to 300 again here, but not the worst 300 setup to be in. I mean, by the time I'm finished with this game, I'll be fluent in Filipino. King Jack 6. kick it off with a bet here on a board where lots and lots of worse hands can call us. We can get raised by draws that we can just jam against, etc. We block the set pocket sixes. Queen of Hearts seems like a decent turn card. Obviously, we now lose to King Queen, but we do pick up the flush draw. I think we're just going to rip it at this point. Ace 10's got there, 10 9's got there, but we have redraws against those. And we just pick the pot up. And this time with the ace queen from this position, we're just going to rip it. If maybe we're just going to rip anyway. Just seems like ripping 450 here to pick up 45 seems excessive, but maybe it's the best play. If you've played a lot of this game and you have any thoughts on that, please do share them with me either on Facebook, if that's where you watch the video, or in the YouTube chat. Pair gut shot, backdoor flush draw. I think we're going to be wanting to sometimes check call this flop. And versus the ISO raise, the call, and then we're going to fold these sevens. We're not even guaranteed to see a flop. This guy might just rip it now. And then we'd just be putting like 100 chips in with no chance of seeing a flop. And I guess we peel one here. Don't like it. Don't like check calling in this game very much at all. It's a very rare play from me. I think we just have a little bit too much going on. Then that happens, and then we have to fold, and it's just really annoying. Just torched fucking 10 antes. And this guy just checks then. Fuck knows what's going on in this hand. I mean, what did this guy check raise big with and then win Queen 10? That's shit in its pants. Because the board paired. I think if you raise, oh God, what the actual fuck? So he had the Queen 10. He went for the check raise on the turn. Clearly, that's what he was going for. Failed, and then went for a tiny check raise on the river. Okay. Well, that's why he's tagged pink. He had just had his 4x raise on there, no matter what, didn't he? He had 4x raise to flop that if this guy had bet 70 on the river, he would have made it 280, etc. I think we're actually going to go for a check raise here with our nut flush draw and our over. You know, if it checks through, we get to realise some of our equity. And if someone bets, we get to put a lot of pressure on their one pair stuff they're betting or their weaker draws that they are betting. I'm fine with either here. If someone bets, we go all in. If it checks through, then we get a free turn. Both of those things seem fine to me. Now I'm not so sure. Now I think we just fold maybe. I mean, assuming our flush draws alive, we have with 30% to hit the flush. Maybe that's all that's live. And we're not getting the correct price for that. Oh, our outs were blocked to fuck as well. Our outs were blocked to fuck. I mean, that overlimp there with 7-6 off. 7-6 off is a pretty fucking garbage hand in this game. It's a pretty fucking garbage hand. King Queen off on the button. I think we're probably behind his raising range in that position, given how much he likes to limp. I think King Queen's doing pretty badly against his raising range, but it's multi-way. We have position. I think it's worth trying to see a flop and see if we can't make good things happen post-flop. Then he just bets like 2% fucking pot on the flop or whatever the fuck he's done. Going as a raising a call in front. Limping the aces here. We are King Queen. Anyways, this is all good. We get to get it all in pre-flop with the best hand ever created. And we're in very good shape. No jack. Don't put a jack down. Thank you. Jack would have hurt there. Jack would have hurt. It's a nice pot to pick up. I think we're a bit deeper there, weren't we? Yeah, a little bit deeper to start the hand. Let's just try the rip of the kings. This might be, this isn't usually in my playbook. The overlimp with hands as low as 7-9 suited, but there's not particularly aggressive players behind, so I don't think we're going to get squeezed too often. So if we're not going to get squeezed too often, I think it works a little better. Flop an open end straight draw here and a backdoor flush draw. We have a relatively passive players betting, so I don't think we have much fold equity here. But we probably have enough pot equity just to, like, what little bit of fold equity we do have. I mean, because we get it in here, we're going to have like 40% equity. We don't get there. And then if we ever have any fold equity, then that makes the shove fine. I don't think it's a fantastic spot by any stretch of the imagination there. And that's what comes of limping hands that you don't normally limp. So, you know, you just get in spots like that. Do you need to get yourself into? So I think we lost a stack there from making perhaps a marginal call pre-flop. And I know most players in these games are just like, that's a trivial limp to them. Trivial limp. Oh, we flopped the open ender, right? Let's get it in. It isn't a standard play from me. What I've been doing is I've kind of looked at the pre-flop range charts, and I'm playing tighter than them. I'm kind of like just chopping off the bottom. I haven't done any work in terms of how much percentage of the hands I'm chopping off. But we're chopping off like the weakest hands from each position that the range charts are advocating that we play, and it's been doing pretty well for me. That was one of the times that 9-7 suited would be one of the hands I'm chopping off from that position. I didn't chop it off that time. We got in trouble. I mean, this is a trivial get it in with queens here, and just let's have a three-way flip against two guys with incredibly high V-pips. The ace king's going to win. The ace king is definitely going to win that one. Why am I short stacked here? Why have I not done a top of Rooney? That's a flop. And this is one of the few times where you can slow play in this game because our hand is pretty much invulnerable. Basically, if a fourth heart comes, we lose to exactly the king of hearts. But if we don't mind the board pairing, we don't mind straights coming, etc. We're very happy to give a free card here and just hope somebody improves. But if it checks through, we're absolutely going to start betting the turn. As it happens, this guy here just does our job for us. I'm not even going to go all in here. I'm just going to call. Obviously, we have this guy covered, but yeah, and our friend here is throwing stone dead, which is a very nice donation from him there. Evidence in live play videos that all the things I've been saying about how soft these games are is very true. You cannot possibly watch these videos and say anything other than, fuck me, those games look soft. Yep, you might still not want to play. You might still be like, I don't care how soft they are, too much variance, blah, 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 don't want to play. But it's impossible to argue that they are not probably the softest games around at the moment. You couldn't make a case for any game being softer than these. That I'm aware of, anyway. I mean, maybe some of the fucking crazy mixed games on Stars are softer. If you're really good at them, who knows? But yeah. I mean, let's just see what it's 10-7, Ace Jack. I mean, these are two pretty atrocious all-ins pre-flop. 10-7 with the worst of the lot of them. Loves this situation. We are going to limp here and watch this guy like snap shove his stack. That's what we're going to see. He's going all in almost for certain. Hopefully some people call behind and then we just pile our queens in and jump aboard the variance train. See what happens. See, we're trapping that worst hand. So we've managed to trap almost 400 chips of worst hand money. But there's a good chance he might defend these worst hands and then get there. And then get there against us. Which is just part of the fun of this game. It's a big pot. It's a massive pot. We are so far ahead, and then the 9-8 wins, but we're still live. No, no, it doesn't win. We flop a full house. Reggie, notice when you flop full houses, dude. I thought the Jack had got us there on the river for the King 10 straights. So there, we got it all in 4 ways against King 10, 9-8, and King 10. Get in touch. That's all I'm going to say to you guys. Get in touch. We have the low end of the straight here. Going to use it as a bluff catcher on the turn. I mean, I'm tempted to just fold, but I don't think we can. River's a break. King, Queen was already there, so Doesn't change anything. He bets 50. I just think we're donating here, but we're going to have to call. But I think we're donating. Now we're definitely donating, and we're not calling. Because there's absolutely no way this is a worse hand than our straight. Okay. Good read, Reg. That is a remarkably thin raise. Remarkably thin raise. I thought I was making a good ninja fold there. Well, I didn't think it was a ninja fold. I thought it was a trivial fold. Probably was a trivial fold, to be fair. But when I add there's fucking no way this is a worse hand than ours, or no way that whatever it was I said, then yeah, I added the emphasis that it wasn't really justified. Anyways, we've done 40 minutes. That's plenty enough for a video. Quick midweek update on the scores on the doors. Been a good week so far. Feels like we've had a winning day today. Just make sure we haven't got any hands we want to be playing. We don't, so we are 3 buy-ins up on the day. On the month today, which is very conveniently just all week so far, we are up 16 buy-ins in just 1,500, maybe 1,600 hands. So we're still continuing to run absurdly well. How much of it is run good? How much of it is just like genuine edge? Still way too early to know in terms of sample size, but we'll keep it going whilst it lasts, and hopefully we'll keep attracting more and more of you guys across, which will inevitably fuck my win rate a little bit if you all move into these particular games. But there's plenty of clubs, plenty of apps, plenty of other sites if you don't want to play on the apps. As we talked about before, there's GG, PokerStars, and Party who all spread this game. Maybe some of the US racing sites spread it. I honestly couldn't tell you. Don't know about like America's Card Room or Global or Ignition. Don't think I've heard of them spreading it, but perhaps they do. But it seems to be a game more popular with Asian players than it does Euros or US players at the moment. But I think this game is going to grow and it's going to keep growing. I think that's almost certain. I think they'll still be playing this game. I think this game is very popular for as long as like online poker is popular. And if online poker is still going strong in 5 years' time, this game, without question, will still be going strong. It's here to stay now. Stars launched it as a novelty a couple of years ago. It's established now. It's here to stay. And it's about time some of you guys got on somewhere near the ground floor rather than waiting until it's a more reg-heavy arena, and then you're coming in quite a long way behind the curve. Anyways, enough of that. We'll talk about that another day. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I've certainly enjoyed making it. I don't think I'm making another video this week because I am working tomorrow 10:30 till 1, which is usually when I make videos, and doing the same Friday, and then I never make videos at the weekend. So it's very likely it's going to be Monday before the next video now. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Have a fantastic week, everybody, for what's left of it. Stay safe, look after each other, look after yourselves, and bye-bye for now.